Hello and thank you for watching this episode of Simply Cooking with Ken Thompson. Today I'm going to be making apple crisp dump cake. Almost. The reason I say almost is because, well, I'm kind of going to break one of the rules of a dump cake. If you want to see what I did, keep watching and find out. Okay, here's the reason that this is almost a dump cake, but not quite. Like I said, it's apple crisp dump cake. The crisp is the part that's not exactly a dump cake. But I wanted to do something a little different with this and try something that I thought would give it a little bit more texture and flavor. So I'm making a little crisp to put on the top. This is actually pretty simple. We start with 1 cup of all-purpose flour and 1 cup of quick cooking oats and a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. And it didn't want to come out. There we go. And a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. Okay. That should do it. Now, whenever I'm baking, I like to take my dry ingredients and mix them thoroughly before I add the wet ingredients. I find that this helps to distribute flavor properly when that's, especially when spices are involved. Also, you don't want any pockets of baking soda or baking powder to be in little specific places. So I like to mix them up. If I were doing a spice cake, I typically take my dry ingredients and run them through a sifter about 3 times. Okay, that looks like it's pretty good. I think that's pretty well mixed, and just using a whisk works just fine. Okay. Now the next thing is we have 1 cup pack of brown sugar, and I am using light brown sugar. Okay, so we're going to take and mix that in too. Once we get that mixed in here, then we will add our butter. I'm going to try to break most of this up a little bit so that we're not too clumpy or lumpy. Alright. Okay. That's getting pretty good. Still got to break up a little bit more of that sugar. Alright. Okay, after that, I'm going to pour in 1 stick melted, or 1/2 cup of butter melted. Pour that right in the middle. Okay, I'm going to try doing this with a whisk, but I'll probably end up putting my hands in after a little bit. Somebody called me out one time on one of my videos for not wearing gloves, but I thought, hey, I'm not in a restaurant. This is in my own kitchen in my house, and this is the food I make for my family. And I don't typically wear gloves to make dinner at home. Of course, it could have just been a joke. Probably was. Okay. Yeah, this is getting most of it. I think I'll go ahead and stop with the whisk for right now. Might even just take this silicone spatula. Will probably actually do quite well. I'll just go ahead and finish mixing this up. You just want to make sure that you've gotten everything mixed in pretty good so you don't have a lot of dry areas. Okay. And you do want it kind of crumbly and falling apart, because that will make it a lot easier to spread when we make the dump cake. Alright, so that's looking pretty good, as you can see right there. And this is going to be our crisp topping for our apple dump cake. So this is really a combination of 2 different recipes that I decided to put together and try out. Alright, once that's mixed up and it's still nice and crumbly, then we're just going to set it off to the side for right now. And then we're going to prepare for the dump cake portion. Okay, so we're back. This is the dump cake portion of the recipe. Now what I've got here are 2 20-ounce cans of apple pie filling. They call it filling or topping. So we're going to take that and we're just going to put it right in the bottom of a 9x13 pan. Okay. 1 can. I'm going to try to make sure we get it all out. So here's the dump. We're just going to dump this right in, right? Except that we are going to smooth it out a little bit. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, that's all of that. All right, now go ahead and just kind of spread these out evenly across the bottom of your pan. That's it. Spread them out. Spread them out. Try to get all the way to the edges and in the corners. Kind of push them around a little bit. And there you go. And there we are. That looks really good so far. Okay, next I have a box of spice cake mix and just the regular stuff you buy in the grocery store. And I'm going to just take this and squeeze it a little bit and make sure I don't have any clumps in here before I open the bag. That makes it a lot easier to get things spread out. Okay, we'll cut open our bag here. And now we're just going to try to spread this as evenly across the top as we can. Doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm going to come back and kind of smooth it out a little bit anyway. Okay. This is where the whisk comes in handy again. We can just take the whisk and kind of move it around. There's a little clump. We'll break that. So you got a few of those here and there. And just break them up in your fingers. Okay. Alright. Like I say, just try to smooth it out around the edge, all the way out to the edges. Pretty much the same thing you did with the apples themselves. Alright. Okay. Another clump there. I caught you. Okay, let me put that away, and the next thing we need is some more melted butter. Okay, and we're back. Next up, pretty simple. I've got about 3/4 of a cup of melted butter here. I'm just going to try to pour that as evenly as I can across the top. This provides a lot of the liquid for the cooking of your cake batter or your cake mix. Just pour it around nice and gently, nice and easily. Believe it or not, this works quite well. Okay, after that comes time for the crisp. This was my change in my recipe. So we're going to take the crisp, just going to break it up a little bit. Make sure again that we're trying not to have a whole lot of big lumps or chunks in here. But if you do, that's okay. It's not going to hurt anything. Alright. So we'll take it and spread it across the top. So if this stuff was already made beforehand and you had it sitting somewhere where you could just get to it, it would qualify as an actual dump cake. But like I said, this is the almost part. Yep. And of course I'm making a little mess, but hey, whatever, right? We make a little mess, we clean a little mess. It's not a big deal. The reason I decided to do this is because I just wanted something that wasn't just apples and cake mix. I wanted something a little bit more like an apple crisp, and I thought that this might just be a good way to do that by combining two recipes and making one new one. All right, so that's it. The only thing we have to do now is put this in the oven. My oven is preheated, and when it comes out, we'll take a look at it, see how it goes, and try a taste. Okay, so here it is. Fresh out of the oven. Notice we got a little bit of bubbling there. That's what you want to be looking for. When you're looking at the sides of your pan while it's in the oven, you want to see some bubbling going on right along the sides. This was in the oven on 350 for about 45 minutes. Then I added about 5 more minutes and turned the speed cook on to give a little bit more heat to the top. Doesn't have to be done. I just thought it would work out a little better that way. Now let's give it a try. Okay, so here's the moment of truth. We're going to spoon a little out of this corner right here. I won't mess you guys up by taking a spoon right out of the middle. Did that to a casserole one time. My wife about killed me. And there we go. That's looking really, really good. Good. Nice taste of the spice cake. It's kind of buttery, of course, as you would expect it to be, because there is quite a bit of butter in this. A little bit of crunch from the top adds that texture in there. I have to say that this was a success. Now, only one more thing that we need to do next. And what else could you possibly do to this? But maybe add a little bit of vanilla ice cream right on top. Considering it's still pretty warm, that's going to melt down pretty nicely. Let's try that with a touch of vanilla in there. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I just got to say, this recipe turned out great. Give it a shot. I think you'll like it. I'm sure my kids are going to devour this later this evening. And thank you for watching. Please click the like button if you liked it. Click the don't like button if you didn't. If you have any ideas of what you think I could do differently, just leave a comment in the comment section below. If you do make this, please come back to the video and leave a comment and let me know what you thought. If you could, just please click the subscribe button so you'll know of anything else that I've got coming up, and of course the notification bell, just so they'll actually let you know. But thank you again for watching Simply Cooking with Ken Thompson. I hope you have a great night.